Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something powerful today. Beauty isn't just about what's seen in the mirror. Beauty is about what shines from within, and that light only grows brighter with maturity. You see, when a woman reaches a point in her life where she knows who she is, what she stands for, and what she will no longer tolerate, she becomes magnetic. People can feel her strength without her saying a word. That's what I call real beauty. True beauty comes from emotional maturity and self-awareness. It's not the kind of beauty that fades when the lights go off or when the makeup comes off. It's the kind of beauty that lives in your energy, your words, your decisions, and the way you carry yourself through the storms of life. When a woman becomes emotionally mature, she stops being controlled by her emotions, and instead she learns to guide them. She doesn't let pain turn her bitter. She lets it make her wiser. She doesn't allow rejection to define her worth. She understands that sometimes God removes people to protect her. That shift in awareness, that calm confidence in knowing who she is, that's what makes her truly beautiful. An emotionally mature woman doesn't look for validation outside herself anymore. She's been through seasons where she gave her all and received less in return. And from those lessons, she learned to pour into herself first. She learned that her value doesn't decrease because someone couldn't see it. When she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see flaws. She sees strength, experience, and growth. She sees a woman who has cried, fallen, and risen again. That understanding gives her a light that can't be dimmed by anyone's opinion. Her self-awareness allows her to walk in grace, to handle challenges with composure, and to radiate a calm confidence that no amount of makeup could ever replace. You can feel emotional maturity in the way she talks. She doesn't gossip or tear others down to feel better. Instead, she uplifts. She's not trying to be perfect. She's trying to be real. That realness, that depth draws people to her. You see, anyone can be beautiful for a moment, but not everyone can be peaceful, balanced, and emotionally grounded through life's ups and downs. A mature woman knows that not every battle deserves a response and not every insult needs a reaction. Her silence often speaks louder than words. It's not weakness, it's strength disguised as calm. She's aware of her triggers and her healing. She understands her emotions, but doesn't let them control her. When she's hurt, she reflects instead of retaliating. When she loves, she gives deeply but wisely. This emotional intelligence makes her radiant because people sense safety around her. Her energy is steady, her presence soothing. She has learned that self-awareness is the highest form of beauty. It means she knows who she is and what she stands for. When you meet a woman like that, you see something divine. She's not chasing anyone or anything. She's attracting peace, love, and respect effortlessly. Her maturity gives her power, but her awareness gives her softness. Together, they create a beauty that time cannot erase. She glows not because of what's on her, but because of what's within her. Her maturity is her magic, and her self-awareness is her crown. A mature woman values peace over drama and growth over perfection. She's lived long enough to know that chaos steals her joy and drains her spirit. She's not interested in fighting for attention or arguing to prove her worth. She has learned that peace is priceless, and she guards it like treasure. She used to chase closure, but now she chooses calm. She used to react quickly, but now she breathes deeply before she responds. There's something incredibly beautiful about a woman who doesn't need to win every argument, who doesn't need to have the last word, who simply chooses peace because she knows that not everything deserves her energy. That calmness, that inner quiet, gives her an elegance that stands out without trying. Growth means more to her than being perfect. She's not looking to appear flawless anymore. She's focused on becoming her best self. She understands that perfection is an illusion that leads to disappointment, but growth is real, steady, and powerful. She has made peace with her past and learned to forgive herself for the mistakes she made while she was still learning. That self-forgiveness sets her free. Every day she tries to be a little wiser, a little stronger, a little kinder. That's her version of success. She knows life isn't about having it all figured out. It's about learning, healing, and becoming. You can tell a woman values peace when she no longer entertains chaos. She walks away from drama quietly, not out of fear, but out of strength. She's learned that sometimes silence is the most powerful answer. She has no time for gossip, negativity, or toxic people because she knows that her energy is sacred. She chooses environments that nurture her soul, people who inspire her, and habits that build her. That's why her glow is different. It's not loud or flashy. It's soft, steady, and rooted in contentment. Her peace becomes her beauty because it shows in her eyes, her smile, and the way she moves through the world. She also values emotional growth in her relationships. She's not impressed by empty promises or shallow connections. She seeks depth, understanding, and maturity. She wants people around her who challenge her to be better, not those who pull her backward. Her standards aren't built on pride. They're built on peace. If something costs her peace, she knows it's too expensive. So she chooses to grow instead of stay stuck in cycles of pain. That mindset makes her radiant because nothing shines brighter than a woman who is at peace with herself. Her beauty comes from her serenity, not her perfection. She doesn't pretend to be someone she's not. She embraces her flaws, her scars, her lessons. She laughs at what used to hurt her, prays for what used to frustrate her, and walks away from what used to drain her. That's real growth. And that's what makes her beautiful beyond words, a woman who values her peace and her evolution above all else. Confidence and kindness are more powerful than looks. A mature woman understands that beauty fades, but the way you treat people and the way you carry yourself will always leave a lasting mark. She has learned that confidence isn't arrogance, it's quiet assurance. It's walking into a room knowing she doesn't have to compare herself to anyone. It's standing tall, knowing her worth isn't determined by attention, validation, or approval. Confidence radiates through her body language, her tone, and her energy. You can feel it before she even speaks. She doesn't need to be the loudest person in the room because her presence already speaks volumes. That quiet strength is what makes people stop and take notice. Her kindness, however, is what makes people stay. A mature woman's confidence might draw attention, but her warmth captures hearts. She treats others with respect, regardless of their status or what they can offer her. She listens with intention, speaks with compassion, and acts with grace. She doesn't use her strength to intimidate. She uses it to uplift. Her kindness is deliberate, not naive. She knows the world can be harsh, but she chooses to be gentle anyway. That decision to stay kind, even after being hurt, is what makes her truly beautiful. It takes real strength to stay soft in a hard world. Confidence and kindness together create a rare kind of power. When a woman knows who she is and still remains humble, that balance makes her magnetic. She doesn't need to put others down to feel strong. She knows that lifting others doesn't dim her light. She celebrates others' successes because she's secure in her own. That self-assurance makes her unshakable. She's not moved by jealousy or insecurity. She's grounded in gratitude. Her confidence tells her she's enough, and her kindness reminds others they are too. Her confidence also changes the way she handles life. She doesn't beg for love or chase attention. She understands that the right people will recognize her value without needing proof. When she speaks, her words carry weight because they come from a place of wisdom, not ego. When she walks away, she does it gracefully, knowing peace is better than pride. That calm, self-assured energy draws respect without her demanding it. People trust her, admire her, and feel safe around her because she knows herself deeply. Her kindness gives her beauty that time can't erase. It shows in her eyes, her smile, and the way she makes others feel seen and heard. She understands that true beauty is never about competition. It's about contribution. Every act of compassion, every word of encouragement, every moment of understanding adds to her glow. Confidence makes her shine, but kindness makes her unforgettable. She leaves a trail of light wherever she goes, not because she's perfect, but because she's genuine. That's the kind of beauty that never fades, the kind that touches hearts long after she's gone. Emotional control makes her irresistible and graceful. A mature woman has learned that not every emotion deserves a reaction and not every situation needs her energy. She understands that the ability to stay calm in chaos is a form of power. She's not ruled by her anger, fear, or insecurity anymore. She has learned to pause, breathe, and respond with intention. That's the kind of strength you can't fake. It's the result of pain, patience, and experience. A woman who can hold her peace while the world around her is shaking is a woman who truly knows her worth. Her calmness speaks louder than any words, and her silence often has more weight than someone else's shouting. She knows that emotional control doesn't mean suppressing feelings, it means mastering them. She allows herself to feel everything: sadness, frustration, disappointment, but she doesn't let those emotions take the driver's seat. She's aware of what she feels and why she feels it. That level of self Self-awareness gives her an aura of steadiness that people find deeply attractive. Her peace becomes her perfume. It follows her, fills the room, and lingers even after she leaves. Men notice it, women admire it, and everyone respects it. There's something captivating about a woman who refuses to be moved by temporary storms. She's been through enough to know that reacting out of emotion only gives away her power. So she chooses composure over chaos. Even when people try to provoke her, she remains centered. That doesn't mean she doesn't care. It means she's disciplined enough to protect her peace. That kind of self-control is rare and it's beautiful. It shows maturity, strength, and deep self-respect. When she speaks, her words are measured and meaningful. She doesn't lash out or act impulsively. She communicates with clarity, and her tone carries calm authority. That's why people listen when she talks, because she's learned that real power is in restraint. It's not about being cold or emotionless. It's about being wise enough to know when to engage and when to walk away. A woman who can master her emotions has mastered her life. Her emotional control also gives her grace. She forgives easily, not because she's weak, but because she refuses to carry bitterness. She chooses empathy over revenge and peace over pride. She knows that holding grudges only weighs her down, so she lets go, not for them, but for her own freedom. That's real grace. It takes strength to feel everything deeply and still move with gentleness. Her grace becomes her shield. Her calm becomes her crown. People often mistake her calm for simplicity, but those who truly know her understand that her peace was earned through storms she never spoke about. Her grace isn't natural, it's trained. It's the result of every time she held back words that could have burned bridges, every time she smiled when she could have screamed. That quiet discipline is what makes her irresistible, graceful, and beautifully strong. She knows her worth and never chases validation. A mature woman has reached a place where she understands that her value doesn't depend on anyone's opinion, attention, or approval. She's no longer waiting for someone to tell her she's beautiful, worthy, or enough. She already knows it. That self-awareness gives her a rare kind of confidence. She's not arrogant, she's secure. She doesn't compete, compare, or beg to be seen. She walks in her truth, knowing that those who can't recognize her worth were never meant to keep her company. That calm assurance is what makes her magnetic. She doesn't have to prove her value. She simply embodies it in the way she speaks, moves, and carries herself through life. A woman who knows her worth doesn't chase people, she attracts them. She's learned the hard way that chasing love or validation always ends in disappointment because what's forced isn't real. She understands that true connection comes from mutual respect, not desperation. So she no longer tries to convince anyone to stay, understand her, or choose her. If someone can't see her value, she gracefully lets them go. She knows that walking away isn't loss, it's self-respect. When you value yourself, you stop settling for almost love, half effort, or empty promises. You stop accepting crumbs when you know you deserve the feast. Her worth isn't tied to her relationship status. her looks, or her achievements. It comes from within, from the lessons she's learned, the storms she's survived, and the growth she's embraced. She has been broken before, but instead of letting it define her, she let it refine her. She rebuilt herself piece by piece, and now she stands taller than ever. She no longer seeks validation because she has already validated herself through her resilience. That's what makes her glow so powerful. It's the light of self-acceptance. She also knows that knowing your worth means setting boundaries. She's not afraid to say no when something doesn't serve her peace or align with her values. She understands that protecting her energy isn't selfish, it's necessary. She's done with overextending herself to people who wouldn't do the same. She knows her time, love, and presence are valuable, and she offers them only to those who truly deserve them. When a woman knows her worth, her standards change. She no longer tolerates disrespect disguised as love or manipulation disguised as care. Her sense of worth also brings her peace. She doesn't take things personally anymore because she knows her value doesn't shrink when someone else can't see it. She realizes that rejection is often redirection toward something better. She trusts that what's meant for her will recognize her energy, respect her heart, and stay without being asked. That's real power, to be so rooted in self-worth that no amount of outside noise can shake your confidence. A woman like that is unbothered, unshakable, and unstoppable. Her worth isn't spoken, it's felt in her presence, her choices, and her silence. Her energy, wisdom, and class make her glow from the inside out. A mature woman carries an energy that can't be imitated or manufactured. It's soft but strong, calm but powerful, quiet yet commanding. You can feel it before she even says a word. Her presence alone speaks of experience, patience, and grace. She's lived through heartbreaks, disappointments, and challenges that once tried to break her, but instead of dimming her light, those experiences polished her soul. That's why when she walks into a room, she doesn't have to demand attention. She naturally draws it. People sense her peace, her confidence, her groundedness. It's not about what she wears or how she looks. It's about what she radiates. Her wisdom is what gives her that glow. She's learned from every mistake, every loss, and every lesson life threw at her. She doesn't regret the pain she went through because it taught her to see life from a higher perspective. She's not quick to judge anymore. She understands that everyone is fighting unseen battles. Her words are thoughtful, her advice meaningful. People come to her not because she's loud, but because she's real. She has learned that wisdom isn't about knowing everything. It's about understanding yourself, understanding people, and knowing when to listen more than you speak. Her wisdom makes her magnetic because she brings clarity to chaos and calm to confusion. Class, for her, isn't about fancy clothes or expensive things. It's about how she carries herself and how she treats others. She doesn't gossip, boast, or belittle. She knows that dignity is her most beautiful accessory. Even when others try to provoke her, she stays composed. Even when hurt, she responds with grace. That's true class, having the strength to stay kind in a world that often rewards cruelty. Her elegance isn't taught, it's cultivated through growth, self-control, and humility. She doesn't chase attention, she earns respect. Her class speaks louder than any words could. Her glow comes from the balance she's built between her mind, heart, and spirit. She no longer tries to be perfect, she chooses to be authentic. Her energy is peaceful because she's made peace with herself. Her wisdom is deep because she's embraced every season of her journey. Her class shines because she's learned to love without losing herself. That balance gives her an aura that feels like sunlight, warm, gentle, and life-giving. People notice her and feel inspired without always knowing why. It's because her beauty isn't on the surface, it's in her spirit. She walks with grace, speaks with kindness, and moves with purpose. She doesn't need validation or attention to feel beautiful. She knows that her energy tells her story better than words ever could. That's the kind of woman who leaves an impression long after she's gone. Her glow isn't something you can see, it's something you feel. Her energy heals, her wisdom guides, and her class defines her. That's what makes her timelessly, effortlessly, and powerfully beautiful.